Moving on to the schedule was released for all Pac-12 teams, at least a 6-game regular season schedule before Week 7 is determined by seeding based on each division. What, in your opinion, is Cal's biggest game of 2020, Jasper?
First of all, I think all these games become big games. In a schedule that's half the length of your normal season, each game becomes twice as important. It's that simple. There are no games you can drop. There are no games you can sort of take time off. There are no bye weeks. There are no easy teams now. Every game is a must win, hands down. We don't know what the bowl game situation will look like. It's hard to exactly calibrate what you should be doing, what a good season looks like here. But regardless, there's no opportunity to take your foot off the gas pedal. You have to just go here. You have to stay focused. You have to stay keyed in for 7 weeks, and that's not easy. So I think every game is massively important. But for me, I said this earlier when we didn't know what the schedule even was. We didn't even know if Cal would be playing in the fall. Given the schedule, I think it's still true. The Week 2 matchup against Arizona State is Cal's most important game. And there are a lot of other big games on the schedule. You have the big game against Stanford. There's a big matchup against Oregon, I think, in Week 5. But the ASU game is massive. Right? Jaden Daniels is going to be the best quarterback Cal faces all season. He had a pretty good game against him last time. Last season, Arizona State came into Memorial Stadium. Cal was 4-0. They were the number 15 in the country. Chase Garbers got injured. Arizona State got the upset, and Cal got dumped from the rankings. And that was a massive evening. I think it changed the trajectory of Cal's season. They lost 3 after that. They were 4-4, and they definitely picked it up and had a fantastic end to their 2019 campaign. But that Arizona State game was a game changer. It was a season changer. I mean, it shook them up. The Blue and Gold haven't won in Arizona since 2011. They haven't beaten a team from Arizona since 2015. Call it a curse, call it difficult, but Cal struggles against Arizona teams. And in Week 2 against Arizona State, they need to shake that. If they want to have the kind of season that people like me and Cam Bynum are calling them to have, this is massively important. I think in a lot of ways, it's the most losable game on the schedule. It'll be on the road. And Arizona State is a program that's really comparable to Cal. They have a young up-and-coming quarterback, a coach who's making a lot of headlines as of late, and they're a team that's getting ready to challenge in their division and challenge this conference the same way Cal is, and really start to turn things over. And it's a matchup you could see in future years in the conference championship game, and it's one Cal needs to win if it wants to have a good season.
Yeah, I think you're right on par in the case that ASU and Cal are kind of the same team in each division. They're both the up-and-coming programs that are looking to take over the division. And this is, like you said, this is the season to do it. It's 7 games. Anything can happen. So, but I agree that Week 2 game, that's a tough 2-game start for Cal, UW and ASU. But for me, it all comes back to Oregon. People are talking about Cal being a potential dark horse for king of the Pac-12 North. Well, to be the king, you got to beat the reigning king, and that's Oregon. It's a Week 5 matchup. Both teams are going to be pretty settled into their seasons. I would have liked to play them a bit earlier. New quarterback, new offensive line. There's a chance to feast on that. But people are forgetting that Cal hung with them last season. It was a 17-7 loss in Oregon, a rowdy Autzen Stadium without Chase Garbers. And that was with their full offensive line, with a first-round NFL quarterback, Justin Herbert, and with that stacked secondary. Now you lose all those players. You're playing at home in Memorial Stadium. The Bears, I think could have won that game with Chase Garbers last season. And now coming here, all those players lost. They still have some young talent in that secondary, but it's not going to be the same unit as last season, which only allowed 220 passing yards per game. They're going to be a different-looking team. They'll, I'm sure, have built some chemistry by the time they play Cal. But Cal is, I don't think you can really argue, they're the more experienced team this season, which hasn't really been the case in any of Cal's recent matchups with Oregon. Everyone's talking about how the Bears are on the rise. This is the chance to flip that script. If Cal can beat Oregon in Week 5, people are going to really have to start looking at Cal as the team to beat in the North. Do I think it's going to happen? There's a lot that can change between now and then, so I don't know if I'll go as far as to say a prediction yet, but my mentality is when you have Chase Garbers, you have a chance, because he was 7-0 last season when he played the whole game. And I think this offense, depending on how things pan out the first 4 weeks of the season, could put up some points against that Oregon defense. And just overall, I think this is the best chance Cal has had to beat Oregon in a long time, and I would not be surprised if it were to happen.